friends, it's Nancy, and I want to share with you a little project idea. This is the big book of ideas, but this isn't an idea for the big book of ideas. How many of you use book weights? So I have this one that I use, if I want to hold a book open to, write or to glue things in. I have had this for a good 15 years. But I have this other idea for a homemade DIY book weight that looks like a traditional yo-yo, or our British and Australian friends would call this a Suffolk puff. And I thought we would do this quick design together, and this will have you rushing to the local hardware store. So all you need is a washer. So this is a big flat washer. It measures just about 2.5 inches across. Okay. You need a scrap of fabric, 6x6 maybe, and needle and thread, and either some felt or quilt batting. I'm just taking the price tag off my felt that I got at a thrift store. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my weight there, and can I get one out of here? Yeah, sure, I can get one out of here. And trace the circle. One more. How's your Sunday going? I did a little work on my pages for the Fancy Work journal. So I've got fabric ruffles and lace all stitched onto some pages. So I'm just going to roughly trim that out. And then when Doug was up and moving, I'm just cutting outside this line because my preference is that the padding covers up the sharp edge. It's not sharp, but you know how things, rub and they can start to fray fabric. So I'm just kind of going a little outside that line. So then we went to the hardware store where I got my washers, and I got some gardening gloves, and we worked on clearing some brush out in the back. I had enough of that after about an hour and a half. So I decided to come in. Doug is still outside, but he's relaxing on the patio, I think. Okay, so I'm going to use fabric glue on my washer. Put that in the center. Okay. All right, so the next thing I want to do is take my scrap of fabric, and this is Kathy Holden from the flea market collection, I think. So I'm going to turn it over, and I've got this lid. So I want this circle to be at least twice the size of the diameter of the washer. So this is 2.5 inches. So I want this to be at least 5. This is about 6 1/4. So it's going to be plenty big. Instead of using my Sharpie, I'm just going to use a pencil. Doesn't have to be cut out too carefully because the hem, there's going to be a hem that's turned down. The washer, I think it was $1.09 each, Canadian. Yep, that's going to be fine. In fact, I might want to just trim a little extra off. Just to remove some bulk. Good enough. All right. Needle and thread. Use a nice stout thread. If you have buttonhole thread, that might even be ideal. I'm just using Gutermann, and it's not. It's new. It's new because vintage threads can be kind of fragile. Anyway, so I'm just turning down the edge and taking big basting thread stitches along the perimeter. I did not the end. This is a double length of the sewing thread. This might even be a nice gift for somebody who you're giving a journal to. You can, I got the idea for this from pattern weights from real seamstresses do not pin their patterns. They just put weights on them, and often it's a washer. Actually, it's probably something else, but it looks like a washer. I'm not familiar because I am not a real seamstress, that's for sure. Doesn't make sense to be anymore with the price of fabric and a pattern. Oh my goodness. You can pay $10, $11 just for a paper pattern. But once in a while, you could be tempted to sew something. I sewed maternity clothes for myself when I think when I was pregnant with Jordan. There was a fabric store in London, Ontario, that was going out of business, and all of their fabric was $1 a meter. I even got some heavier wool and made myself a coat. Okay, I think between the wool for the coat and the lining, it was maybe $12 all told, and the pattern. Anyway, so I'm going to put this in the center and just cinch this right up tight. make sure it's centered. A little off center. There we go. Okay. I just want it to go through a little bit so I can put a big knot there. Okay, done. Now, I have a big mother of pearl button here, and I'm just going to glue it right on top with some Fabri-Tac. I'm going to get glue all over my hand. And now I have some embroidery thread. Make sure that's centered. And I'm going to go down with the needle. Whoop, come back here, you. Ouch. Thimble wouldn't have been a bad idea. Okay, tie a double knot. There we go. Now, we've got ourselves a DIY book weight. I hope you thought this was kind of a fun project, and give it a try yourself. Make one for your journaling buddies, and keep them on hand to hold down your papers. All right, get back to your Sunday. I hope it's a good one. Take care. Bye.